Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Becky Widish, Chairman of the Niagara County Legislature. Thank you for joining us live once again on LCTV as we give you our current Niagara County COVID-19 updates for the day. We're also currently streaming live on lctv.net and 90.9 FM on your radio. Now, unfortunately, today I do have to start out with giving the unfortunate news that we have lost 2 more Niagara County residents to the COVID-19 virus. This, from the beginning, of course, has been the most difficult news that I have to announce to you each time. And our deepest condolences, of course, continue to go out to the friends and families of these individuals who are dealing with these losses at such a terrible time. These individuals, these residents, did include a 62-year-old male and a 95-year-old male, both with underlying health conditions. For the rest of our update, I can tell you that we've also had 9 new positive cases of COVID-19 reported here today in Niagara County. This is a very low number as opposed to some of the bigger numbers that were coming back as our testing started to increase, so that is good news, and we're seeing a trend in the right direction there. That gives us now a total of 1,163 positive cases since this pandemic started a few months back. We currently only have 182 active cases of COVID-19 in the county. That includes 176 individuals who are isolating at home and only 6 individuals who are currently in the hospital. Now, again, with the 2 additions today, our death rate does now increase to 77 overall, but the best news, of course, we're seeing those positive numbers come back lower. We have fewer cases that are currently active than we've had in a very, very long time, and we now have a total of 904 individuals who have recovered from COVID-19 and are doing well, and that is always the best news to hear. Now, quarantines, unlike isolations, are for individuals who have had known contact with someone who's testing positive with COVID-19. And of course, for 14 days, they are told that they need to quarantine themselves, keep themselves away from other people to avoid potentially spreading the virus to others. Right now, we only have 127 individuals who are in quarantine. Again, that is one of the lowest numbers we've heard in a very long time. And a total of 1,009 people who have completed that quarantine process. Our Niagara County heat map has been updated again for today's totals. You can find that on niagaracounty.com under the COVID-19 banner. There's a link right at the top of the page for you. And again, as you'll see on your screen, that map will break down the positive cases we've had since the beginning by municipality. So you can see by village, town, and city where exactly those cases have been occurring. And as from the beginning, we see, of course, the higher numbers in the more densely populated areas of the cities. Switching to testing, according to the state COVID-19 tracker, we now know that 19,709 individuals have been tested here in Niagara County. And you can find that link as well on our niagaracounty.com page in that COVID-19 banner up at top. This state tracker will break down for you the numbers county by county across the state so that you can see where Niagara County stands statewide, which is very good information for us to have as we move forward. We know that we've done much more testing here over the past few months. That's obvious from the numbers that we're seeing there. And I want to continue to remind you and encourage you that we do have many, many testing sites available now throughout Niagara County. You can find those testing sites on our web pages. Again, there's a list that will give you a link to the list that you're going to see up on your screen now. And when you go on that link, it will not only show you the locations and the phone numbers to contact, but also the requirements that each site has as far as making an appointment, whether you need a prescription, all of those things that you need to know. And we do remind you, of course, to call ahead and pre-register for those testing sites. They do require you to have an appointment. Once you get there, it's a very quick and easy process. You're in and out most sites within 3 to 5 minutes. So again, we encourage you, as more people are heading out into the public, going back to work, going to those businesses that are beginning to open up again, please get yourself tested and know that you are safe to be out and about and around others. Now, testing is so important because it lets us know the data that we need to know as we're making reopening decisions and how to do that safely, of course, in the region. And I can tell you those testing numbers are looking good. We are currently trending in a very positive direction to know that we are on track for phase 3 reopening for next week as early as Tuesday. You'll see on your screen the other important trend that we're looking at is the amount or percent of positive results that come back from those tests that are done here in Niagara, and we call that our infection rate. Now, we've seen those numbers decrease over time as testing has increased here, which we expected. We have had now 4 straight days where that infection rate is coming back under 1%, which is great. Our overall number for the past 3 months is down to 5.7%, which is less than half of the state average. So again, doing very well here in the Western New York region and in Niagara County specifically. The other metric that we look very closely at is, of course, the hospitalization rate. Again, this number tends to come down slower. It was a fast climb up the hill and a much slower journey down the other side. But again, trending in the right direction, as you'll see there. All of the blue cases are the hospitalization rates, with the yellow specifically being ICU rates. Again, you'll see those numbers are coming down, which we need them to do. It also is no surprise, we've thought since the beginning and have been able to now confirm that through data, that Western New York has been about 2 weeks behind the curve of the downstate New York City area. From when we first hit our peak to now seeing those downward trends, we never hit the level of surges that they did downstate. And again, that is good news, and we owe a lot of that to everything that you've been doing out and about in the community. Wearing those masks, staying socially distant from each other, staying home when you needed to, staying out of work and working from home where you could. All of those things we know have helped our situation here in Western New York to get us in the good position that we're in now. And of course, we continue to ask to do those things as the governor continues to mandate them. So with the positive news, it's clear right now that as of next week, again, as early as Tuesday, we should be getting that green light to enter Phase 3 reopening of businesses, which we all want to see. Phase 3 should include things like restaurants and food service opening up more, and more of the personal care options that you're looking forward to. Of course, we're going to be focused on the reopening of restaurants in the area. We know this is a big one for indoor dining. Outdoor dining has been going well. We've seen those restaurants expand their outdoor dining significantly here just in the last week, and now they're looking forward to indoor dining as well. Seating in those facilities will be limited, of course, to 50% of capacity to start. We also know that more personal care options are going to be opening up, things like nail salons, massage therapy, tattoos, and piercing, all of those other services that, of course, we've been missing throughout this time. Now, guidelines for those Phase 3 businesses have started to appear on the state's website, so our Economic Development Department is adding them to our website, which is niagaracountybusiness.com, under the COVID-19 red tab there, like on your screen. And they have been doing a great job of taking all of those state guidelines, everything that you need to know for reopening, and adding them there to your page in one easy place for you to look. We've also seen recent guidelines put out for childcare and day camps. And I want to remind businesses, this is very important, that you do need to go onto the state's website and self-certify before reopening your business when you're allowed to do so. Now, again, you can find those links either on forward.ny.gov, which is the official state website, or our niagaracountybusiness.com. You can access the link there if it's easier to navigate and find what you're looking for. But again, you'll want to go on that website, check out the safety guidelines and protocols that are put in place, read through them, make sure your business is set up to keep your employees and your customers and clientele safe when they re-enter. You will need to fill out the self-affirmation form that is on that state website, print that out along with your safety plan, and have those on site for anyone that should ask to see it. That's a very important step. And again, it is required that you fill out that affirmation and have your safety protocols printed and available on site before you reopen. As always, as I said, our Economic Development Department is doing a great job of answering phone calls, helping out our local businesses, walking you through those forms and guidelines the best that they can, getting answers to any questions that you might have as well. So please reach out to them. They are there for you at 278-8750. They can also help continue, of course, with any of the financial forms that need to be filled out for the different loan programs, PPP, all of those things that businesses are trying to navigate through right now. They'll help you with those as well. A few big announcements for the county that can help out our community members. These are always good to tell you about, and we love that our organizations are holding these right now. The Cornell Cooperative Extension of Niagara County is going to be doing a second round of their Farmers to Families food box giveaway. That's scheduled for this Friday, June the 12th. starting at 10 a.m. and will run until they run out of food boxes. They did this a few weeks ago and ran out around 1 o'clock. So we do encourage you to go early if you are in need of that assistance. They might not have enough boxes to get through till 4 o'clock, so do go early when they start. Now, the main pickup location will again be at the Niagara County Fairgrounds, which is at 4487 Lake Avenue in Lockport. But they have additionally set up 2 satellite locations to make pickup more convenient for you. You can also do that at the Harry F. Abbott Elementary School at 1625 Lockport Street in Niagara Falls, or at the Spruce Elementary School at 195 Spruce Street in North Tonawanda. Now, information for that event is also available on our Niagara County Facebook page, so make sure you check that out. I also want to let you be aware of another personal protective equipment handout that's being done by our Niagara County Emergency Management Services. If you own a hair salon or barber shop and you're cutting hair, you probably know that when the first guidelines came out from the state, it was required that you not only wear a face mask to cover your nose and mouth, but it was also being required that you wear a full face shield while cutting hair. Now, those guidelines, if you have not heard, did change recently through the state. You are now allowed to wear a face mask, that covering over your nose and mouth, along with goggles if you prefer that over the face shield. Now, we do have about 1,000 pairs of goggles at our emergency management department that we have available for hair salons and barber shops if you need them to get your business up and running. You can go to niagaracounty.com/fire. There's a link for hair salon and barbershop goggle request form. You want to make sure that you fill that out, and then they will get those goggles to you to help you out in your business. I want to thank again, of course, our Emergency Services Coordinator, Jonathan Schultz, who has just done an amazing job throughout this pandemic, getting these drives available for businesses. We know that it has been difficult at times to not just afford these products that the state is requiring, things like hand sanitizers, face masks, now the goggles, but they've been difficult to find. We are certainly getting supplies now much more readily through the state, so we want to be able to share those with our businesses as you're reopening. And again, we thank Jonathan and his entire team. He has been part of our Restart initiative with the chambers and the local business communities, and has done an excellent job of getting that information out to our public and sharing those pieces of equipment that we have that we can share with you. So thank you again, Jonathan, and your whole team, as we get our community moving forward again. Now, another topic that's come up frequently, of course, is the U.S.-Canadian border requirements. This is something we've talked about in our Restart group. I also had a binational web conference the other day with our counterparts on the Canadian side of the border to discuss the border reopening, what that might look like, and how we can help our residents through that process. Now, unfortunately, news is just breaking today that the border is now being expected to stay closed into July. We are waiting, of course, for further details and development as that happens at the federal level. We do know a few days back that the Canadian officials announced they were changing some of the guidelines as far as who was considered essential and who could travel over, including more family members, which was wonderful to hear. We know that they have been separated a very long time. Families, including parents, children, even spouses who haven't seen each other and need to quarantine once they're back in Canada. So if you are planning to head to Canada, again, please know the border restrictions are still in place now, it appears, until into July. You'll want to check websites and look ahead at what those requirements are before trying to travel to be sure that you are considered essential, and to see any of the requirements that might be involved as far as how long your stay will last, needing to quarantine once you're there, all of those other things that apply. I want to remind you again, of course, also about our Niagara County Crisis Services phone line. This has been such an important, aspect of what we've been dealing with for these last few months as people are struggling to get through the uncertainty of the times that we're dealing with, the added frustrations of being out of work. We've seen increases in substance abuse disorder, overdoses, domestic violence, all of those things that are only made worse during times of stress and anxiety. So please, if you are struggling, if you have a loved one or a friend who is struggling and you need to know how to help assist them, reach out to Crisis Services. That is 24/7 free and confidential help for anyone who is struggling right now and needs it. Their number is 716-285-3515. And again, I want to thank that entire department, all of those individuals who are there taking phone calls and helping the community at this time. Now, if you've joined us late today, you can catch us on demand on lctv.net. There will be a link under the Niagara County Legislature tab. We will also post that link, of course, on our Niagara County Facebook page for you as well within the next few hours. That will be up and available. We want to continue to thank LCTV for the wonderful partnership that they've given us in getting this information out to our residents. They will also replay this broadcast during the day on their cable station as their schedule allows. And of course, thank you to all the other broadcast companies who have picked up our information and helped us get it out to the residents at this time. We really can't thank you enough for helping us in that situation. We know it's so important right now for our residents to understand the changes that are happening, the services that we have, and how to access them. For now, everyone, I hope that everyone can stay safe and stay healthy.